This mutation is called Moths to the Flame and is played on Rifts to Korhal. We have 3 mutators active. We have Fatal Attraction, we have Purifier Beam, and we have Alien Incubation. Let's quickly have a look at the masteries, hopefully before the first attack wave comes up. We have 30 points into Zagara attack damage, 30 points into the Banelink damage, and 30 points into Intensified Frenzy with Zagara using Mother of Constructs, which is P2 Zagara. Han Horner has gone for 30 points in the Strike Fighter AoE Mastery, 30 points into Double Salvage Chance, and 30 points into the Magmine Mastery, and they are playing the Chaotic Power Couple Prestige. So this is P1 Han Horner. So, let's talk about the mutation a little bit. This one, Fatal Attraction, by far the most annoying mutator, and I think this is pretty much the community consensus. It is an extremely unfun mutator, and especially because you have all these broodlings that will be spawning from Alien Incubation, these guys will also be triggering Fatal Attraction when they die, so this gets particularly annoying. The Purifier Beam, as you can see, it's marked on the minimap here with the ping marker, is not particularly difficult. It's just a very zoning kind of mutator. As long as you're careful, you can deal with that really easily. And then if you really want to meme on Amon, you can actually trap the Purifier Beam in a number of ways. Now, usually the most popular way of trapping the Purifier Beam is just keeping an SCV or a worker in patrol or an overlord just around the Purifier Beam going around in circles, and the Purifier Beam kind of gets trapped here. So you can see that the first attack wave over here is going to be a Zergling attack wave. So we're going to be dealing with the Invasionary Swarms. Pretty much pure ground composition, which is really nice. And you can see that one Magmine has actually triggered and killed off some of the Zerglings over here. And that basically ended up, I think this Magmine might actually end up... Okay, no. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, so you got to be really careful with the incubation here. So Zagara is going to be taking her expansion, so workers are working away on this. We already have a command center that is being built here next to the expansion, and these rocks will be cleared by the assault galleon. And it's going to be kind of interesting to see how these commanders deal with it, because none of these commanders are particularly great. Like Han Horner is arguably one of the weakest commanders in the game, especially when it comes to mutations. So they do tend to struggle a little bit. They're not particularly well equipped to deal with almost any mutation unless it's on like Dead of Night. But let's see how this goes. Zagara as well now has spawned, and Zagara will start to get pulled into this little enemy base here. Let's be a little bit careful. Very nice actually pullback on Zagara, trying to avoid the Fatal Attraction, so that does end up working out, but now the rest of these guys are already on it. That is pretty much the end of Zagara. Going to be able to do anything here. It does use a Banelink Barrage to start clearing out some more of these things, and then drops the Hydralisks here just try and deal with it. And this is exactly what Fatal Attraction, like, you lose control of your army, which is extremely unfun. By the way, if you are curious as to what commander you could use to do this, so you wouldn't have to deal with this madness, I think probably the best one would be Zeratul, maybe, because Zeratul can just use his cannons, and cannons obviously are unaffected by Fatal Attraction. There are other ways you can also cheese this mission. You can build maybe Sky Furies and just snipe the Void Shards. I believe Tutu had a solo of this one as well, where he just built Sky Furies and just sold these Void Shards using cooldowns. You can do something like grab Swan with the drill and then use maybe some observers for detection from your ally to try and snipe them. Han Horner as well can solo this mutation by using Strike Fighters as long as you're playing P3. So there are a few options you have available to you. Rifts to Korhal, not particularly difficult with the mutation. Now, the one thing to note about this mutation as well is that if you're playing Mengsk and you're going to use the Earth Flares by putting it in this spot here that doesn't have any enemy unit here, make sure that you have something to deal with this Purifier Beam, because this Purifier Beam will eventually aggro your Earth Flares. So you will need to have a worker, or you need to have your ally do something to just get this Purifier Beam away from your Earth Flares. Otherwise, the Purifier Beam will zone your Earth Flares out and you won't be able to put them there. So that is something to take into consideration as well. But Zagara is slowly working away on this Void Shard. Void Shard is going to end up going down. Expansion is pretty much out for Han Horner as well. They're building 2 more Assault Galleons, which is also really good. Hydralisks do end up getting killed by the Purifier Beam over there. And yeah, so both the expansions are up and they are good to go. We have aberrations coming up for Zagara, and Zagara is going to park herself in the base temporarily over here. These Assault Galleons are now going to start working their way over here. These assault galleons are probably going to get pulled into this enemy base, and they're probably not going to end up surviving here. He also uses a call in the fleet, so there's going to be extra inhumanity here and also extra fatal attraction. Yeah, one galleon goes down, second galleon goes down, and third one is not too long for this world. Space station reallocation also getting used here. Is galleon actually going to survive? It might actually end up surviving here. There's nothing to... Okay, no, this Korhal was there. So galleon does end up going down as well. These aberrations are slapping away at the broodlings that have spawned from the little bit of onslaught caused by Hanhorn. Purifier Beam also over here now wants to try and poke away at these aberrations. And Void Shards still standing strong in this second enemy base here. So the aberrations are going to start pushing in. Zagara unfortunately losing complete control of her army. There is a Void Shard that is also attacking these aberrations, and apparently even if they get stasis by the Void Shard, or they get stunned by the Void Shard, they can still be pulled around by Fatal Attraction. So there's no avoiding the damage here. Lots of Zerglings now are coming up from the attack wave that has spawned. A few of the Magmites get dropped by Hanhorn to try and help Zagara deal with this. Wow, I'm even looking at this and like I'm just getting salty just by watching this happen. It's like, I'm not even playing this game and I'm already getting really mad at this mutator. But yeah, so this is pretty much gonna get cleared out. There's one random swarm host over here. Swarm host will get killed off as well. Upgrades for Zagara. We already have the Medusa Blades and Medusa Spine, Medusa Blades upgrade, and the Heroic Fortitude upgrades. Zagara is as good as she is gonna get. The upgrades we have is we have a Corrosive Acid upgrade coming out as well, and level 1 attack upgrades for Zagara, and we have the Aberration Armor upgrade or damage reduction upgrade. So now we are just going to be schematic going to be working with this. We also have very nice use of the Raven over here. The Raven will increase the damage taken by this Void Shard that has a lock on here. So this is going to be very nice. Just allows Zagara to quickly clear this out. And now we have one of the two Void Shards gone. Second Purifier Beam has spawned now on the map. So this is also going to be something. These Assault Gallons have to move away a little bit. And over here we do have a few Strike Fires getting utilized here by Han Horner. And they are actually going to end up triggering some of these annoying little broodlings are going to be spawning. But Zagara is going to get ready and she's going to start pushing into this enemy base here. So again, lots of aberrations. One or two aberrations get yoinked into this enemy base, so those guys are going to end up going down. Zagara does end up using her Infested Drop, and now these guys will start taking, at least dealing a little bit more damage. Horner providing a little bit of backup from the Strike Fires over here, so this will be actually a little bit helpful for them as well. And yeah, overall, not too bad. Structure-wise, we have four Strike Fire platforms out so far, so should not be too bad. They will be able to help out a little bit, and yeah, there we go. This one Assault Galleon almost falling apart, but does end up getting safe here. There's one annoying little broodling over here that needs to be dealt with as well, and in this spot here we have a Raven. This Raven is probably gonna end up going down to that Purifier Beam. So again, a few more there's some bird lurkers here, but the lurkers do get taken up by the Strike Fire platforms, and these commanders now are ready to push. And if anyone is wondering why is Hanhorn not building any units, it was very intentional for them to not build units. I think that was part of their description. They wanted to use only call downs to help, and with their Strike Fire platforms, obviously. And I don't really know if, I guess maybe Wraiths or Battlecruisers might be a little bit useful, but Fatal Attraction is just ridiculously nasty. You can't, you're just gonna lose your army so quickly because everything just gets pulled right into the enemy base. So you can see over here what's happening. These aberrations just get charged in, and as they die, they are triggering Banelings. As they kill stuff, they just get pulled right into the enemy base here. It just makes it very, very difficult for them to do anything. You basically lose control of your army. And this is exactly why people just do not like Fatal Attraction. It's not a particularly fun mutator to deal with. It's not difficult to deal with. There's always some form of counterplay, but it's just annoying. And this is exactly what it is over here. Aberrations just getting pulled, yoinked, stasis, and lifty moved by the hybrid over here. And eventually this aberration is going to end up going down. Oh, how nice! The Viper actually pulled the aberration out of the Void Shard attack. The aberration started to run back in here as well. What is this Viper doing? I have no idea what this Viper. He's just pulling aberrations back and forth. They get decoupled back there and then back out again. Anyway, so these guys are going to start, eventually they're going to end up clearing out this enemy base, and once this enemy base is cleared, they'll be ready to go. There are some pings over here as well. So strike fires are going to start getting used, and now because the strike fire has provided vision, the call in the fleet is going to get utilized over here to try and weaken this. And over here we have another attack wave that has spawned. Zagara has used an infested drop to start taking out this attack wave. I think the explosion of the space station should be able to clear out the entirety of the attack wave, but unfortunately a lot of the units that ended up dying have spawned some broodlings over here, so we do have some mines getting utilized here as well. Are these mines going to end up borrowing? They need to borrow. They need to borrow. Okay, so one of these guys do end up going down. I think they need to borrow. They are not borrowing right now. And okay, they do end up surviving, which is kind of nice. Aberrations now need to continue slapping away at these void shards. These void shards have all gone down, and now we are at the final push over here. So these widow mines, what are they going to do? Are they going to be used as like suicide? I think that is their goal. Just suicide them into the enemy base here. Oh no, okay, so they are going to use. Okay, their sentinel missiles will be utilized at least a little bit. So these widow mines are going to end up parking themselves over, and they will be able to deal a good amount of damage over here. And now Zagara's army has started to push in, and these widow mines, they will be able to get a second shot off as well. Extra amounts of damage. These infestors are getting focused down as well by the strike fires to deal extra amounts of damage. And the napalm upgrade is also going to be very useful in dealing, especially with the broodlings that are spawning from the alien incubation. And these Purifier beams are still a ways away from these commanders, so there'll be a little bit of time before these Purifier beams will be right on top of these commanders' armies, so they will need to be able to start pushing through, and should be able to start clearing, at least to get started on clearing out these void shards. Hybrid has taken an interest in the army right now, and the hybrid will get killed off as well. Oh, cool. Okay, so apparently when these mag mines are arming, they also get pulled by Fatal Attraction. Just rewind the last 5 seconds, you'll see what I mean. I was not aware that they could actually get pulled away, but you know, there we go. I guess they can get airlifted while they're arming, so that kind of also makes sense. But Zagara's army is now right in the middle of the enemy base, and this is one of the things, it's so difficult when you're dealing with Zerg compositions, because you have Broodlords spawning Broodlings, and then you also have Swarm hosts spawning the Locusts. So there's a lot of like random like temporary units that get spawned by Zerg compositions, which makes it even more difficult to deal with Fatal Attraction. But there is a Leviathan over here as well, and now Zagara is going to start working away here. These Galleons are so dead. I can't see these Galleons actually surviving. Yeah, one Galleon is going to end up going down, another one ends up going down, and this last one over here sitting at 70 and is dead now as well. There's a Brutalisk that is also over here. And the one thing you have to be careful of is this Leviathan as well. It has an ability that it doesn't really use on Void Launch. It has something called Bioplasmic Discharge, and it deals something like 500 damage or stuff. If you've ever been pushing in with Nova or, you know, Super Gary, and your hero unit just ends up getting deleted while pushing into the space, that Leviathan is probably the reason for it. It has this ability, it deals an insane amount of damage, and it does actually spam them on your hero units as well. So Zagara has ended up losing her entire army, but she is going to be waiting and regrouping her forces. And again as well, what is Hanhonri doing? He's getting some other upgrades as well. He's getting the tactical jump upgrade as well for his air army, which does not appear to be existent. Yeah, there's nothing over here. We have 9 strike fires available, and yeah, that's actually very, very interesting. Actually, what is saying there are 11 and 15? That's interesting. It says there are 15 strike fires over here. That is very, very weird. I do not know what that is. And listen, remember, this is P1 Hanhorner, so I'm not actually sure why it's showing that there are 11 here. I've never noticed this before. I guess maybe there's an maybe it goes up by 1 when there's like when it's spawned and it's like on the way to drop its payload. I'm not really sure what's going on here. But anyway, the Zagara is going to start pushing in as well. We have Korhal and the fleet being utilized as well to try and at least take out some more of these Zerg units over here. So one of the hybrids do end up going down. This other hybrid as well will probably be able to survive the call in the fleet here, and this Void Shard as well being, yeah, Zerg just being really, really annoying. There does not appear to be any detection, so Hanhorner will have to actually use strike fires to take out these lurkers over here. And this one Void Shard as well still dealing a lot. It's still just being really, really annoying by casting its abilities. This Leviathan over here has actually regenerated some more of its energy, so it might end up using Bioplasma Discharge again. And if you see that, you'll see the energy bar drop eventually at some point. But yeah, there we go. So whenever you see that, you know one unit has died when you casted that ability. So it has gotten a little bit more value for its energy. The third Purifier Beam has spawned as well, and it's going to be working its way over here. Han Horner just slowly poking away at this Void Shard. This Void Shard will end up going down. Eventually, the Raven also gets used over here to try and increase the amount of damage that this Void Shard takes. And this Void Shard is not going to be... Oh no, Fatal Attraction pulls them back again. These Locusts that are spawned from the Swarm Host are just ridiculously annoying, as well as these Brood Lords over here. But finally that Void Shard goes down. Final Void Shard over here as well, also getting cleared out. A lot of carnage, a lot of losses. But that, the Void Shard's cleared, and that is GG.